Hi class, today I'd like to talk to you about the Google Cardboard. The book I read was the Google Cardboard book by Holly Clark, Sylvia Duckworth, Jeffrey Heil, David Hotler, Donnie Piercy, and Lisa Thurman. All of these authors are educators and they all use virtual reality in their classrooms. It's a very inexpensive book. It's under $15 for the paperback. It's also very short. It's about 35 pages long. Now, why do you want to use virtual reality in your classroom? The number one reason is to take your students places that they would not otherwise be able to go. I mean, can you imagine taking a field trip to the Taj Mahal, or to Washington, D.C., or to the Great Barrier Reef? Of course not. We can't afford that. But by using virtual reality and Google Cardboard in our classrooms, we can bring the world to our students. This will allow them to explore things that they might not otherwise have contact with. And this, is a really good way of, again, bringing the world to your class. Now, in the past, we had old technology. We had movie machines. We had tape viewers. We had the old ViewMaster, which would show things in like a three-dimensional view, and even the old stereoscopic viewers. Today, we have virtual reality. We use a smartphone and an app in order to project the image of what we want to see, and it gives us a 365-degree way of looking at things. Now, to get started, you're going to need a smartphone with Wi-Fi capability. You're also going to need to have a Google Cardboard viewer or the VR viewer. You should download the Cardboard app, and also a really good thing to use in your classroom is Google Expeditions. Google Expeditions gives you an easy way of having your entire class look at one particular picture where you can monitor what they're actually looking at. Let's take a look at Google Expedition.
Welcome, class. Today I'd like to demonstrate Google Expeditions to you. This is an app that you would download for either your tablet or your smartphone. You can download it through either the Apple App Store, or you can download it through Google Apps. I happen to have an iPad, so I went to the App Store. Here we have Google Expedition. I'm going to launch it. You would actually install this on the teacher device and also on all of the student phones that they're going to be using for VR. They need to have the same software. Okay. Once you get in here, you'll notice that I'm connected to my local Wi-Fi, and that's how everybody else is going to connect. They all need to be on the same Wi-Fi, and then they will see your particular presentation. It'll pop up, and then they can join it. And there are a lot of different things that you can choose from. For example, there's what happens to your trash, or here's a thing on a solar plant, or maybe we want to look at flying the mission to Jupiter. So what we do is you just tap on it. It's going to quickly download. Your students at the same time need to launch their particular app, and they need to go ahead and make sure they're connected to Wi-Fi. Now you'll see we have a check mark, so I'm going to launch this particular presentation, and you'll notice there's a lot of different things here to help you. For example, Juno on the way to Jupiter. If I launch, or if I go to, let's go to the next one, soaring over Jupiter. You'll notice it tells you what they're doing. It gives you questions, and then it also gives you different things that you can check to point your class to. And all I would need to do to launch this particular one is click play, and then I can scroll this back down so that I don't see it. And it tells me that there's no explorers found. Well, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and find on my particular thing. I'm going to, here, I'll put this here. You can see on my cell phone, I now have the Jupyter presentation. I'm going to click join. And it's going to tell me to get into my Google Cardboard, position, put it in your VR viewer. And then as you can kind of see this as I'm moving around, you can see it's actually moving. And you can see some of the moons and stuff. So it's kind of cool. The other neat thing is no matter where I'm looking, it's going to show up on the teacher app. See this little star? This little smiley face? Well, this is where your students are at. And you can scroll around and see what your students are looking at. And then if I want to say, okay, I want to go to Powered by the Sun, I click on that, and it's going to show me this particular solar power generator thing. But anyways, and then I'm going to go ahead and press pause. And there's quite a few different things that go with this particular presentation. It really, in here, I just changed it. It automatically changed for my students so that I can, now go in and start looking at this particular app. And if I move this around, you can see it's the same thing. Anyways, that's Google Expedition. It's a great way of using VR in your classroom to show your students different things, and I hope you give it a try.
Okay, one of the biggest issues that I did find with the Google Cardboard or virtual reality in your classroom is the cost. Okay, for one thing, for every student that is going to be using the VR viewer, you need to have a smartphone or a phablet. A phablet is something like an iPhone 7. It's bigger than a smartphone, but smaller than a tablet. So it's a phone tablet, otherwise known as a phablet. You need to have one for every student. Now, please remember, your smartphone does not have to be hooked up to a carrier. It just needs to be able to connect to the Wi-Fi. Even if you've upgraded your phone and you kept your old phone, that would be perfect. One suggestion would be to send something home asking parents if they have old smartphones to go ahead and donate them to the classroom with the power supply, because that's important, to be used for the VR viewers. Okay, the other thing is the cost of the viewer itself. You can get a Google Cardboard from around $3.99 all the way up to, they run about maybe $10 for the cardboard, which you have to assemble yourself. Anywhere from $10 to $20, you can actually get a regular VR viewer. One of the things you need to look at is how much do you want to spend up front, and also how long is that particular device going to last. A plastic viewer is obviously going to be more expensive, but it is going to last longer than the cardboard because the cardboard is going to get bent up, and if it gets wet or something, it's going to be ruined. So that is one of the biggest issues that I did find with Google Cardboard, is the cost. Now, one other thing that I want to show you is I'm going to go over here and show you the book real quick. There are different chapters. It talks about, what is Google Cardboard, the different uses, how to get started, how to take 365-degree pictures and videos, which didn't appeal to me so much because it doesn't work real well with a Mac, and I have a Mac. Sharing your images and videos, how to make your own Google Cardboard viewer, which is okay, but it is a lot of work. And I think if you can get them for $4 or $5, it's a lot easier just to buy them than it is to try to get a piece of cardboard and get it cut out correctly, and so that it folds right and everything else. And then there's also an additional list of apps that you can go in and look at. And then it talks about the authors. So this, like I said, this is a really good book. If you're going to use virtual reality in your classroom, it's a great thing to have. And that's my presentation. Thank you.